Carol's Daughter Productions presents St. Jane and the Wicked Wicks, Episode 2. Written, composed, and produced by Kristin Lems. Directed by Douglas Post.
Hello, it's Nellie again. Seems like only yesterday that I was 12 years old, banging on the door of Hull House in the middle of the night, when my pa was beating my ma, and ma was giving birth. I'll never forget that night, because that's when I met Jane Addams, who was up late working, along with the ladies Ellen Starr and Julia Lathrop. When I told them what was happening, the Hull House ladies called a doctor and the coppers, and they hurried across the street to save the day. That was the first time I ever saw women protecting other women, even against a crazy drunk. Then Aunt Jane invited me to spend the night on a cot in her room, so I could rest up before going to work in the morning. We laughed and shared secrets, and I even sang a song and tried to teach her the schottisch. 2 years and 3 evictions later, that monster stormed back into our lives, crazy with drink. Brother George was busy reading and didn't hear Pa shouting for some nails. Pa smashed in George's head with a hammer, and George lay bleeding on the ground while Pa kicked him. Where was Ma, you ask? Just watching George bleed, and holding out her hand for my extra nickel from work. Those wicked people ruined George, and wanted to ruin me too. But I survived. Meantime, Hull House was doing great.
Alan, Julia, look at today's mail. It's enough to fill a laundry basket.
It seems there's more mail every day. It must be because the fair is only 6 months away.
Yes, there are more requests for tours every day. Everyone seems to think Hull House is second in importance only to the Columbian Exposition.
400 years for Columbus and 4 years for Hull House. Just a couple of zeros difference.
Here's your mail, Ellen.
Let's see. St. Vincent's, the Civic Federation, a solicitation to wash our windows. Which reminds me, Nellie's brother came by yesterday. You know, the window washer.
Jean, did you get their new address?
Yes, I put it on the desk. Here. They're living in a rooming house over on Sangamon now.
That drafty hovel on Jefferson didn't last long.
Nor the one on Halstead. Isn't this their 3rd eviction?
Didn't the 3rd one only last 6 months or so?
Yes. Wicks threw what little furniture they possessed right out the window and just missed a passerby. Then he disappeared again, leaving the family to move everything overnight.
They always hope he won't find them, but he always does.
Nellie warned us not to come by any more. As besotted as his mind is, he still remembers the night we chased him off with our umbrellas. He has vowed revenge.
The night we nearly delivered a baby.
We were ready. But poor Nellie, he takes his wrath out on her.
Like he did to the oldest boy.
Oh, poor George. Imagine what he might have become.
From a prodigy to a prisoner in just a few months.
And to think George was never seen by a doctor. It's no wonder the damage was irreversible, not only to his intellect, but to his moral sense.
Another child of promise gone. How does that evil man get away with it?
Unfortunately, their mother turns a blind eye. She even encourages it.
When the beatings are spread around, she doesn't get quite as many.
Well, now that we have the new address, why don't I send Mary over with a letter inviting Nellie to do some mending for us?
Why Mary Smith?
Well, Wicks won't recognize her. Besides, she's so helpful. What would we do without her?
I, for one, would do exactly the same thing I'm doing right now. But if Mary's the one you think can get to Nellie, by all means, let's send her.
Jane, any more mail? How about the letter I'm expecting?
Let's see. Bills. We can always count on them. Flyers, invitations. Ah, here is what you've been waiting for, Julia. An embossed envelope from the governor's office.
So that's why the invitation took so many weeks. It needed embossing. How nice. The oh-so-distinguished gentlemen have finally invited me to sit on the Illinois State Board of Charities, 1 year after I drafted the charter which created it.
They always manage to forget about the women, don't they? Will you have a vote?
Let me see. Ex officio. I guess not.
A vote? Of course not. We're much too pure to get down in the mud with the men and vote.
Ida reminded us that even the Negro men who won the vote don't really have it.
Poll taxes, literacy tests, not to mention lynchings, all thrown in their path.
We must fight for their rights, and for ours, by all means at our disposal.
We must have the franchise. Let's be frank, the fairer sex has not been treated fairly. We can do it.
Time to do it.
Women working in the sweatshops, just surviving barely. Time to do it.
We can do it.
Women of all backgrounds are stuck in the same boat.
Pounded by the tempest with no oars
And with no vote, we can do it. We can do it. We will do it. We will do it. We will turn this world around with purpose and with passion. We can do it.
We can do it. Tell our stories loudly until voting is a fashion. We can do it.
We can do it.
With determination, we will always find a way. We will live to see the vote.
We'll have it one fine day. We can do it. We will do it. We can do it. We will do it.
Well, at least we're getting a voice. Until then, we must continue to steer the ship.
While men declare themselves captain.
Now let me write that invitation to Nellie. Welcome to Hull House, Richard. I'm flattered that you could stop by, since I know every minute these days must be busy for the famous Richard Crane, builder of so many important structures at the fair.
Jane, what you have built here at Hull House is just as big an attraction as my plumbing at the fair.
I suppose we both enjoy building things. It's good you're here at this time of the morning, so you can see daily events getting underway. We are overflowing with staff, volunteers, residents, neighbors, and visitors from around the world.
Most impressive, Jane.
Hello there. Come on in, the door is open.
Dance into the Hull House rag, where 24 languages are spoken. Dance into the Hull House rag.
You don't need a job or any money,
Or even a mother or dad.
We'll just teach you the steps, and then you do the rest, and you'll be dancing to the Hull House rag.
Maybe you'd like to try drawing.
Dancing to the Hull House rag.
You can learn hammering and sawing.
Dancing to the Hull House rag.
there's tree work and showers in the basement.
That's something that I can use bad.
So whatever ails you,
We'll never fail you.
Come and do the Hull House
rag.
Could you show me where I can find the Hull House bookbindery?
it's right over there, right behind the Children's Day Nursery.
I came for the choir.
I came 'cause my mother's working till 10.
One and all, come on in.
workers will be coming soon. I ain't got a dime, and I hear they serve a hot lunch at noon.
I'm a volunteer.
I come every day to play clarinet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Circus acrobats and bricklayers too.
Come and do the whole house rag.
Wealthy ladies having nothing to do.
Come and do the whole house rag.
Pottery classes.
And a drama club too.
We've got something that everyone needs.
Weather parties.
Or Shakespeare.
You've got a place here.
Come and do the whole house rag.
Come on in, the door is open.
Dance into the whole house rag.
Where 24 languages are spoken.
Dance into the whole house rag.
You don't need a job or any money.
Or even a mother or dad.
We'll just teach you the steps, and then you do the rest, and you'll be dancing to the whole house rag.
Well, Jane, I certainly did come at the right time. What a wonderful display of enthusiasm.
It seems Hull House has Columbian exposition fever. The past 3 months have been a whirlwind. Now, Richard, let us see if we can't find a spot for your wife and her sister in today's tour.
The morning tour will begin at 11. Until then, please wait out on the street.
Evelyn, you are outdoing yourself, handling all these tourists.
I'm glad to help, Miss Adams. They come for the fair, but they won't leave town without seeing Hull House.
Evelyn, this is my friend Richard Crane, who has helped build some of the marvels at the fair. His sister-in-law has just arrived from Ohio, and I hoped we might be able to reserve 2 places for the tour today, for his wife and her sister.
Welcome, Mr. Crane. We have an afternoon tour at 3. Would that be acceptable? We'll have a delegation of 11 from England, but if your wife and her sister don't mind a little congestion, we can certainly add them to the group.
We would be most grateful.
I'll put them on the reservation list. Mrs. Crane, 2 guests. Please have them check in at 2:45.
I shall do that.
Now, please line up.
Jane, what I like most about Hull House is the industrial training you offer, masonry, carpentry, and the like. But the bookmaking, the art appreciation, the philosophy classes and such are better left to society, ladies, not the immigrant class.
Richard, how shall we harness the energy of America's new residents if not through the arts and education?
Depends on what kind of education, Jane. Is it practical, or is it just sowing discontent? Hull House should certainly not be organizing necktie workers.
Don't hard-working men and women deserve to better their wretched living conditions?
Forward-thinking employers such as myself provide the best industrial conditions. We have a physician on staff, pensions, promotions, as you know very well. But a union? Never. Echoes of Haymarket.
Of course, Richard. But not all employers are as enlightened as you.
My dear wife thinks you walk on water, so I bow to her superior wisdom. But to the point, I also wanted to confirm your visit to our exhibit area at the fair next Thursday morning. I have told several industrial leaders that you would be stopping by. They may be interested in providing support to Hull House.
Thank you, Richard. I'll be glad to share a few thoughts with them. As you know, I'll be speaking on a panel later that day, but I should have plenty of time to get to the women's building. Did you say 10 o'clock?
Yes, that's right. A pity about that woman's building, isn't it? Such an unsightly mess for our distinguished visitors.
It's one of the few places on the fairgrounds that working families can sit and eat their lunches. Perhaps the area simply needs more trash receptacles.
You want to reform garbage collection too now, Jane?
Chicago has modern water fountains. Why not modern garbage collection?
Ah, Jane, you never leave well enough alone.
Hello, Miss Adams. Here is the wash and the mending.
Hello, Nellie. Just put the basket down by the door for now. Nellie, I'd like you to meet my friend Mr. Crane, who has developed some of the indoor plumbing for the fair.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Crane.
Pleased to meet you, young lady. I see that Miss Adams' benevolence is providing well for you.
I would say rather that Nellie's mending skills provide well for us, Richard. Nellie and I have been great friends since she lived across the street about 3 years back. Isn't that right, Nellie?
Yes, ma'am.
I so appreciate that you managed to find time to help us out, Nellie, with all you do. Excuse me, Richard, I need to get my purse.
My brother George used to work at Crane Brass and Bell Foundry.
Ah, very good. What did he do for us?
He was a molder, but he's not working anymore.
Here you are, Nellie, dear. We have so much excitement today that I almost forgot you were coming. Tell me, Nellie, have you been to the fair?
No, but it's all the talk at the laundry. All the girls are dying to go.
What if I asked you to go to the fair and report back to me about it and take a ride on that big new wheel? What do they call it?
The Chicago Wheel. Quite an engineering feat by my associate George Ferris. Although some say that it is not a suitable ride for ladies, considering their skirts and the wind.
It must be quite a view. Nellie, I think you should take Jean with you. It's safer and it would be a lot more fun, wouldn't it?
Yes, ma'am, if we can both get the day off.
Let's see. This should cover 2 streetcar fares, entrance tickets for 2, 2 rides on the wheel, and a little extra.
Oh, thank you, Miss Adams. The buttonholes are all repaired, and the blouses are folded in the bottom of the basket. I'll be going now. It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Crane.
Your generosity is remarkable. It's no wonder my wife calls you Saint Jane.
Oh, Richard, you are too kind.
Jean, look here. 50 cents each to get in, 50 cents each for our rides on the big wheel, and 50 cents each for our little extra.
Gee, sis, how many times you gonna count those coins?
I'm gonna squeeze them till the eagles grin.
$3. That's more than I make in a week. Sister, you is the best of the bestest. Tickies to the fair.
Aunt Jane treats us better than Ma. Once Miss Smith told me she and Aunt Jane think of me like their daughter.
2 spinsters having a kid. That's a laugh. But why is your Aunt Jane so stingy? That ain't half enough for a porterhouse steak dinners.
Speaking of dinner, what'd you pack in this bag, Jean? It feels heavy.
The usual. Onion sandwiches, boiled potatoes, carrots, a sliced tomato, lettuce. All extras from the guys at work. They call it my tip for playing the mouth organ when we're packing up after work.
You deserve that and more. You even play the Italian street songs.
They sing along at the top of their lungs. Funiculi, funicula,
No wonder this is heavy. You brought our drinking glasses. What for?
For the new water fountain? The water's good. No typhoid at our fair, no sir. But they passed the glasses around, and when I heard that, I said, "No, mister, we're gonna drink from our own glasses."
This will be a lunch to remember. I'm hungry and thirsty just thinking about it.
Just like Oliver Twist. Remember when he used to read it to us? Remember?
Please, sir, I want some more. Remember how much George loved that book? But Pa made sure to ruin everything for us, even reading. Like I told Aunt Jane.
I am forgetting how to read. I used to love reading about heroes and kings and Longfellow's poems. I'd read them by the hour, but now I've gone straight to hell in Chicago.
You've got some Sarah Bernhardt in ya.
A book takes so long, I'd rather sing a song, and books are very costly, you know. Besides, those moving pictures tell the story quicker.
So it's off to the arcade she loves to go.
Oh, I am forgetting how to think. I used to have free time and tea time and friends. I'd sit in the garden and I'd ponder everything. But now I've gone straight to hell in Chicago.
She's gone straight to hell in Chicago.
Tell me who can think with their arms deep in a sink of scalding water half the day? And how can I be thinking when the open sewer's stinking?
And the bed bugs always have their way.
Nowadays I cannot talk or think or read or write or walk like a lady anymore. I'll tell you one and all, it's a devil of a foe when you've gone straight to hell in Chicago.
She's gone straight to hell in Chicago. Me? I'm just glad to trade in them mops, ropes, and buckets for a day.
What'd you tell the boss?
Told him my uncle croaked and I was a pallbearer.
Let's hope he doesn't check the obits.
He won't. He knows us lowlifes don't make the papers unless we're hauled off to jail or jump in front of a train. Then we make the front page, complete with bloody pictures.
Well, I hope you don't see him here today.
Nah, he's too busy cheating us on our pay. That takes time, you know. But Ma thinks I'm at work.
And to think she still blames you for chasing Pa away. You saved her skin, too.
Wish I'd sent him on a one-way trip to Kingdom Come. Even though the brick only scraped him, he knows I got a good, strong throwing arm. And next time I'll finish him off. After what he done to George.
And what he did to you, too, Jean.
Tried to crack me open like a walnut. But luckily I'm too hard-headed. And you had some close calls too, Nellie.
Thanks to you, and no thanks to Ma. You and George kept him away from me. Every day and every night.
He chased you like a rabid dog. But you were a little too quick for the dirty devil.
Just thinking of him makes me want to vomit.
Miss Nellie fleet of foot. Like that Diana statue over at the fair. Look, it's the trolley. Come on, sis, forget the troubles. World's Fair, here we come.
Look at it, Jean. It's the fair. This is our day.
This is our day. This is our day. There ain't another day just like it anchors away. This is our day. This is our day. It belongs to us. No one can take it away.
Oh, look at the flowers. Jean, look at this. A poster of Little Egypt doing a belly dance.
Get a load of this, boys. We got the 7 wonders of the world. A moving sidewalk, electric lighting, the big wheel, a fountain spurting out clean water. And she's looking at a bed of flowers and staring at a poster.
Jean, look. There's a vaudeville show here at 6. Maybe we can buy tickets with our little extra. And look at the poster, Jean. They're high kickers. You know, I could match any one of those girls in a high kicking contest. Or beat them. Can't you just see me in one of those big green skirts to match my hypnotic green eyes?
That's our Nellie. She gotta be the star, even if it's only in her mind.
You know I can, Jean. Oh, look! There's the vaudeville office, right by the dance hall. Jean, I'm going to go and get an audition.
It's Nellie, the shrinking violet. Who could ever coax her out of her shell?
Hello? I'd like to speak to the management.
What's all the shouting about?
Hello, mister. I'm the best high kicker in Chicago, and your vaudeville show needs me. I can kick a newspaper out of your hands when it's up over your head.
It's true, mister. I should know. I'm her brother.
Ah, is that so? So, what else can you do, young lady?
Cartwheels, tap, the split, the cakewalk, the ragtime dance, you name it.
That's what they all say, until they trip on their own feet.
Jean, give us a quick tune.
Here you go, sis. See her dance? The kid's unnatural, just see her dance. You'll see her capture all the hearts of the guys. Watch their surprise when her high kick touches the skies. See her prance. She's a phenomenon. Just give her a chance. She'll be the rage up on that stage. Mister, look at her dance.
Oh, I see that. It's very good. That's quite a kick she got there. But can she fill the house?
You bet she can. In your troupe, she'll be the star attraction, rules the coop. When she swings into action, shaking her hips, puckering her lips, her gyrations launch 1,000 ships. Boys go weak as she kicks the money out of their hands. You'll pile up your dough when she's in your show. Just look at her dance.
Well, what do you think?
I tell you what. We got a traveling show with a spot open. One of the girls is home with the baby. We'll give you a try and see how you work out.
Thanks, mister. By the way, we were planning to see the vaudeville show tonight, so could you throw in a couple of tickets?
The young lady knows how to bargain. Sure, why not? I'll tell the house manager. Just go in the side door, show him my card, and sit over by the side of the stage. Here's my card, young lady. When you come at 6, I'll introduce you to my brother, the director of the traveling show, and you can work it out.
Look at this card. It says he's Saul Friedman, of Friedman's vaudeville show. Jean, they're the ones who put on the shows at the Star in Garter.
Sis, you could talk a zebra out of his stripes.
And now we can use our little extra for something else. Maybe I can get a nice tortoiseshell hairpin.
And I can get one of them souvenir pennies to pass around at the saloon.
Jean, I'm going to get this job. Go on the stage and go on the road before Ma drags me into her line of work.
Testing out the beds at the Friendship Hotel ain't no line of work no how. But what do you want? We're the Wicked Wicks. Step right up, folks. Take a look. Right before your eyes. See the Wicked Wicks cracking jokes.
And cracking skulls, scrubbing floors.
And washing whores' drawers. Telling tall tales.
And sleeping in jails.
We're the Wicked Wicks. Fools and misfits.
Minstrels and wastrels.
Our lives are the show. You'll take a look, then run like hell the other way.
Thanking your stars you ain't got what we got.
And hoping you don't catch it.
Seriously, Jean. If I leave, what are you gonna do?
Hell, my life's nothing to waste the tiniest teardrop on. I got my squeegee and the corner saloon. You've got a chance, sis. Get out and shake what God gave you right in the old rip's face. Now where is that damn wheel?
Behind those trees. It must be the wheel.
Whew! They say you can see the blue lady real nice from up top.
Ever since I came back in Chicago, I've wanted to sit and look at the lake. Maybe go on a picnic? This'll be the first time.
Miss Michigan's a moody lady. When she's calm, she's soft and blue as the sky. But when a front gets her stirred up, watch out! She gets all the way up to my scaffold and shakes me like a rag doll.
Jean, look. There's the women's building. You know, we ladies can be more than wives, mothers, scrub women, or trollops. We can be dancers, or open settlement houses like Aunt Jane.
Or sew a buttonhole like you're mending a broken heart. Hey, sis, you must have worked up an appetite with that dancing.
You'd better believe it. I nearly popped a button.
Well, come on, sit down here, let's eat.
Eat like you got some manners, Jean.
I'd eat better with a man's beverage to wash it down. How about giving me that little extra? I can mosey over to that German beer garden.
Jean, you're 14.
A little pint never hurt nobody.
Oh, really? Except for the scar on your head, Jean? And how about my burn marks? How about George?
If I'm gonna work like a man, I'm gonna drink like one.
1 Wicks with delirium tremens is enough for one family. Come on, let's find that free water. You can even wash your hands in it.
Okay, kid. Let's stroll like high society, catch a ride on the moving sidewalk, guzzle some clean water, then get up on that wheel and look down with pity on the poor suckers below.
The fair, a free show, and best of all, a chance for me to be in vaudeville. This is our day.
This is our day. This is our day. There ain't another day just like it anchors away. This is our day. This is our day. Without a care, we're at the fair, and this is our day.
Miss High Kicker! Having a fun! Forget other troubles!
Time to tell Mary's parents that I will join them. Let's see. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how kind it is of you to invite me along on your wonderful journey to Europe and Egypt with your lovely daughter Mary. It is true that the typhoid fever from which I have recently recovered has left me weakened, and that, as you mentioned, this will be my first vacation since opening Hull House 6 years ago.
But for the grace of Jane, I'd be out on the street.
But for the grace of Jane, I'd have nothing to eat.
But for the grace of Jane, I'd never be alive.
But for the grace of Jane, how could we have survived?
For the grace of Jane, our own Saint Jane.
Miss Adams, please.
Oh, you startled me.
Caught up in listening to them girls singing about ya, I see.
Oh, they're just practicing for a musical program. It's a song one of the girls wrote.
Let's see if you're as good as all that. I'm Mrs. Wicks, and you may call me Adeline.
And what may I do for you, Mrs. Wicks?
It concerns my daughter Nellie, whom you know her.
Yes, we met when your family lived on Halstead Street. I believe it was the night your son Walter was born.
Oh, yes, that night. Little commotion, but everything came out fine in the end.
Indeed. As I recall, I knitted a sweater for little Walter, and Miss Starr brought it over with a layette.
I remember that sweater. Itchy. Our family line has sensitive skin. It's our English blood.
Ah, yes. It certainly wasn't the level to which you are accustomed. Now, what is your business, Mrs. Wicks?
To get to the point, you do a lot of favors for Nellie, and being the show-off she is, she likes to brag about it. So I thought it was time I set you straight about her.
How so, Mrs. Wicks?
When she returned from her frolic as a dirty vaudeville dancer, you do know about that, don't you? She was penniless. The show went bust, and I took her in, even got her a job at the hotel where I have a position. She met a boiler man, a German fellow, and a few months ago they married.
I am aware of that.
Well, he's locked up now. 3 years for burglary. That ain't no way to start married life. Oh, but you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Well, I found someone for her. A real gentleman. Someone who fancies her. He just happens to be my boss. All she needs to do is accept his attentions.
Mrs. Wicks, does Nellie have any say in the matter?
Isn't it time her mother had some say? I kept her fed, clothed. She even got her own bed while the boys shared one. She ran off without so much as a goodbye and came crawling back with her dirty dancing days fell apart. She got hitched with that jailbird, and now just as soon as you can spit, she's back again. I want her out, once and for all. Lucky for her, I found just the man to make it happen.
And what on earth do you want from me, Mrs. Wicks?
Make Nell accept the boss's romancing. Once things take their course, she can divorce that German jailbird and marry the boss. He'll set her up good. And her poor old ma, too, by the way. He said so. He's got money, piles of it. And as the Bible says, a rising tide lifteth all boats.
Mrs. Wicks, you are trying to sell your daughter to your boss. I'll have no part of it.
Nellie is a foolish girl. She laughs too much. She thinks she's a dancer. No end of trouble. Her father and me tried to knock some sense into her, but she's a bad seed. She's damaged goods already. I expect my family to be respectable. And Nellie comes up short.
Mrs. Wicks, you must think I do not know what Nellie has endured at your hands, or that I have some partiality toward you as her mother. Such is not the case. Leave the premises immediately.
Think you're a real lady, do you now? I know what you are, Miss Jane Addams. You hide behind your shawls and skirts, but you're the one who has fallen outside good society with your Mary Smith hanging on you. You ain't one mite respectable.
Respectable is as respectable does, Mrs. Wicks. Now get out before I have you removed.
I'm glad to leave. And as for that sweater, Walter puked all over it, and we threw it out. Cheap wool from a cheap lady.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm honored to be considered part of your family. I gratefully accept your invitation. Faithfully yours, Jane Addams.
You've been listening to St. Jane and the Wicked Wicks, an audio musical, written, composed, and produced by Kristin Lems, directed by Douglas Post, music direction by Diana Lawrence, piano arrangements and performance by Tom Cortese, mixed and edited by Dan Dietrich. featuring Rebecca Keeshan as Nellie Wicks and Evelyn, Kathy Cowan as Jane Addams, Maddie Sachs as Julia Lathrop, Monica Saflick as Ellen Gates Starr, Kingsley Day as Richard Crane, Frankie Leo Bennett as Jean Wicks, John B. Lean as Saul Friedman, and Therese Harold as Addie Wicks, with additional vocal parts sung by Frankie Leo Bennett, Patrick Burns, Rebecca Keeshan, Maddie Sachs, and Monica Saflick.